So, well, here's a video I hoped I would never have to make, and yet here we are. This is a Focus Jam2 or Jam squared 2019 model that will not turn on and will not charge. This is my fiance's bike. It has stopped working. It has died to death. I kind of hoped that it was just me, and over the winter I had left the battery and the battery got flat to a point where it wouldn't take a charge anymore. This sadly proved to be incorrect. So this is the battery. Oh, well, there's the bottom half of the battery pack. This is the battery pack itself. Now let me move it over here so you can see. On there, there's supposed to be these 6 LEDs that light up to show your charge state. There is a button you can press that is on the board, and as you can see, the button does nothing. The cells themselves, I've put the multimeter on them. There is 41 volts in that pack, and that's what it's supposed to be. That is it, fully charged at 41 volts. But across the 2 output terminals from the BMS, there is no volts. Now I want to know who at Shimano thought this was a great design idea. So, no, right, on your cheap Chinese bikes, your battery is an absolute separate entity. It is just positive and negative, and maybe a data line that tells the controller how much charge there is. If the battery dies, you can just fling on another battery and away you go. This battery is part of the bike. Without this, nothing else works. So, the symptoms were, I've disconnected the power button just now because I was just trying everything I could. Normally, you would press and hold for 3 seconds, and then press and hold for another 3 seconds, and the bike would turn on. This did not work, so it didn't turn on. So, and then went to charge it. So you get your charger, plug your thing into the charging port on the bike, which is on the underneath. It flashes green for a few seconds and then goes to the red, and that means it is dead and there's no charging is happening. And as I say, the output from the battery is 0 volts on the BMS. So what else did I try? So because I've got a tech pack, I need to stop saying so. I've got a tech pack, fully charged. If you plug that into the bike, nothing happens because, again, the charging port and the on-off button all run through this big plug on the BMS. So all the wires on there, that's all the data lines from the tech pack, the data lines out to the motor, the on-off switch, and a few other things that it talks to other bits from, all run through the BMS on the battery. So when this dies, your bike is dead. I tried to be clever, so stop saying so. The green and blue wires here, they are, from my poking around, are the 2 pins that are the data that would come from the tech pack, the extra blue battery. So I decided to take the data lines, and you can see where I've cut them there. I cut them and then spliced them onto the grey and white wires. They are, the grey and white is the only other 2 that go out to the motor. So this end connects to your battery. This is the end that connects to the motor, which has got, focus, 2 big pins for power and the 2 little pins for data. And that is the white and the grey wire. So I connected the blue-green to grey-white in the hopes that the data from the tech pack would power up the motor, and then I realised that the power on-off switch, that runs through the BMS. So without this, there's no way for the tech pack to know to turn on and supply the data out over those pins to the motor to turn it on. The motor, by the way, is fine. There's absolutely no problems with this. Oh, and right, here's the annoying bit. My bike, which is the exact same bike as this, has done 3,000 miles and has basically never had a single problem. This bike has done 300 miles and the battery is, well, the BMS and the battery is absolutely kaputting. With no rhyme, no reason, no signs, no nothing, just stop dead. All the cells, absolutely fine. BMS, dead as a doornail. And as I say, the motor and that's fine. Apart from me jamming the chainring into this thing itself. I'm going to have to take a crank arm off now because I've managed to jam 2 teeth from the chainring into 2 sprocket holes, and it's managed to jam itself up against a crank arm. I've made a one-piece motor. That's, I guess I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. Your internal battery lives in there. By the way, taking this motor off isn't actually that much of a problem. You just have to undo a few bolts on the outside to get, like, take your chain ring off and your chain cover catcher thing, and that lets you get to all the bolts, and then it just like 6 bolts and then it pops off. It's relatively easy to get to, same as getting the battery out. Once you've fought it out of the frame, it's pretty easy. There's a mess of wires in there. They've given no proper thought to cable management in any way, shape or form. They're just flung in there with the hope for the best. Right, so that brings us to what we're doing for this video, is asking for help. Does anyone know if anyone makes a motor that fits the Shimano, the E8000 motor hole? Any Chinese motors that will fit in that space? I don't mind if I have to make a custom battery and a custom BMS, if I can steal those cells and make a custom BMS and whatnot to power a motor. Or if anyone knows of a third-party manufacturer of this kind of battery that speaks Shimano, so it'll output data to the motor to actually get the whole system to power on, if anybody knows that. Or failing that, can we decode the signals that it talks? Not this particular battery, but as I say, I've got the exact same bike, but I've ordered and I'm due to get a new bike very soon, so I don't mind taking my old bike apart to get the battery out it, and then we can try diagnostics. Well, hopefully if I plug a battery in there, it would all fire up and it would work, and that would let me know that the BMS on that is dead. So what I'm thinking, with the help of you clever people, is if we get the other working battery, if we can tap into the data that it's sending over like the white and grey wire, if we can tap into what it's talking to the motor, can we emulate that? So I can just put, like, let's just say I go and I buy the cheap 6-cell BMS for this and wire it in so it plugs in, so it's got the power that it's supposed to have, and then we just fudge data or actually give it the correct data to the motor to make it think the battery's there, it's all working, everything's absolutely hunky-dory, and it just behaves like a normal bike again. What do we need to do, or what do I need to buy to be able to analyse the data that's coming over these two wires, and then how do we replicate that and turn it into something that we can use? And if anyone wants to run with this idea and turn that into a thing and make it into a product and sell it, please go ahead, but can we just fix this bike at the moment, because at the moment it's like a 2,000 pound paperweight and it's an ornament. It's an ornament at the moment. Because, well, you can buy replacement batteries, sort of. They are about £600 shipped, and the company in Germany that sell them, I've only found them on eBay, and they won't ship to the UK. So I would have to buy a battery and have it sent to a friend in Europe somewhere, and then have them send me the battery so we're probably like 700 quid just to get a new battery. Speaking of new, so this bike is that is a 2019. So on its sticker it's 2019. On the battery was built in, where's the date, where's my finger, 2016. So this battery, well, nearly 2017. It was nearly, well, we'll call it 2 years old. So this battery was 2 years old when it went into the bike. And then I bought the bike. So that's 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then another 2 years. So that battery's like 7 years old. And dead as a doornail. But it did force me to buy a 60 volt power supply. So now I have a power supply, I'm also going to go and solder the BMS for the 48 volt battery that's still out in the workshop. I haven't done anything with it, but I can now charge it at least with the 60 volt power supply and perhaps do something with it now. But yeah, So if you're thinking of buying an older Focus e-bike, the one with the internal battery tube, bear in mind that if that battery dies, your bike is a paperweight, because nothing else works. Even if you got the tech pack like that, it doesn't work. If the internal battery has died, your bike has died, which is very disappointing because it's a very, very expensive bike and it's a very, very expensive battery, and it's dead. For people that don't know, because you're probably going to comment saying like, can you just get another BMS? I've read lots of forum posts that say once this BMS dies, or once this BMS loses power, it's dead. That's it. It's scrap. So I don't even think you could get another replacement BMS like that. Yeah, I think they have to be programmed at the factory, which is really, really daft. And even dafter is having the controller run through your BMS. Just why? Why couldn't that just been a separate battery? And the bike would still work. I could have plugged my tech pack in and had the bike just run off the tech pack and it would still be working, and I could worry about a battery later on. But that's where we are. So if anyone knows where either A, I can get a completely different motor that'll fit in that space, and I can just make a battery to fit, and obviously just change the electronics to match the new motor, so I still have a working bike. B, replacement battery, third party or whatever that speaks Shimano, so it'll still work. Or C, decode the data and build some sort of controller that talks Shimano and tricks the bike into thinking that the correct working battery is there. Please insert Bernie meme. Once again, I'm asking for your assistance. Any comments, questions, solutions, suggestions, please leave them down below, and as always I will try my best to answer them and reply. And thank you very much for watching this video.